Hello class, this is SIBNet Excel, Pause and Practice Excel 2-3. And to complete this chapter, you need the completed exercise from the previous one, which is Pause and Practice 2-2, which you have completed earlier. I completed it earlier here. I have the file here in my documents and I copy it. I make a copy of it and then I open that file. Okay, so now I have the completed file PPE 2-2 from my previous exercise. Now we go into the first task, save the file. So task 1 is open the file, save as, browse, and you are supposed to be entering it as your initials PPE 2-3 and enter. The file has been saved. That's your first task. Second task is click on the rental days work tab. So here, if you see, there are so many sheets here. We are currently on guest data. We'll have to go to rental days worksheet tab. So click on rental days. So that's the rental days worksheet tab. We're going to use a text join function. A text join function takes any text from different cells and copies them into one cell. That's text join. Let's go to text join. So they say the instructions 3A says go to cell G5. So you could either select, go there, move here and there to find G5, or you could just type G5 here. G5. It will take you to G5 automatically. Now we are going to use a text join function. So click on text button, which is in the formulas tab, function library group, which is, I'm going to maximize the worksheet so all of us can see. So if you take a look at this formulas tab, function library, text, you click on this, you will be able to see the text functions. So this is the icon is with an A. Okay, so let's minimize it again and just go and see. It says press the text button and select the text join function. So we go to formulas in the function library, we click on the text and then we go to text join. It's all the way down to text join. Now it brings out the menu, the sublimiter menu or the formula menu. So let's do click the delimiter entry box. So click the delimiter entry box and press a comma, meaning press a comma and space. Okay, it says press a comma, type a comma and a space bar. Okay, this will actually ignore or it will give you a space between the texts. Okay, right. Next, let's go to text 1, type A5. Text 1, either you could type A5 or you could go and select A5. Okay, so text 1, I'm going to select A5 here. Okay, and then the ignore empty argument is blank. So leave the ignore empty argument as blank. So if there are any blank columns, it'll just ignore that. That's what it means. Okay, click text 2 box, and you can either type C5 or you could select C5. Okay, you could either do that. I'm just going to type C5. It automatically selects C5. Okay, right. And then if you see, it's going to combine the text from A5 and C5 and copy it in G5. Okay, so in A5 you have Shalat Soleil, and in C5 you have IN. So it will say Shalat Soleil, and you're given the delimiter as comma, so it will say comma IN. That's how it should say. So it's combining the text from the two cells that you mentioned here, and a delimiter is between the two, so it's going to give you a comma. Let's check if it is working. Let's click OK for that. So here you go. It says Shalat Soleil IN. That means it's combined A5 comma C5. Okay. Now the next task says use the click and drag fill pointer to copy the formula from G5 to G6 to G19. So let's make it a little bigger and copy the file, or you could just do this all the way down. You could copy it, or you could either copy and paste. For example, you can copy Control C, or you can go to Home and copy here, and then select the whole thing and then do paste. It will also, so it will do the same for all the other texts also. Okay, right. That's task number H3H. Okay. Now we have to auto fit column with G. So if you take a look at G, now if you see this MN is going out of range, if you see that. So we have to fix this. So how do we do it? We just select all of them and then go to Home, Format, Auto fit column width. Okay, you could do that. So see, it automatically fits the column. It changes the width of the column to fit the text that is in this column. Okay, so that's the last task in number 3. Next, we go to task number 4. We are going to use concat. This again is going to the concat formula is going to display the city names and totals. Now we are going to be using a name and a number. Okay, so previously we used 2 text fields or 2 general fields. Now we're going to use a field that has text and a cell that has a number. Okay, let's go to I5. So it's saying go to I5. So I can either type or select I5. It goes to I5. Okay, now again I go back to formulas and text, and I select the function concat. Concat, once again it brings out the argument. I'm going in the cell text 1, I'm going to say B5, or you could select the B5 by moving this and then select B5 if you want. And in text 2, click the text 2 entry box and then put a comma as the delimiter, okay, and a space bar. So you'll have one more space after the comma. And then in text 3, you enter D5. So it's actually going to take the text from the D5 and the number, which is 20. See, you'll get it like this: Bass Lake, comma 20. Okay, this is just a preview of what the answer will be. Okay, right. So we have entered this. Now you're going to click OK. See, now it has combined 2 cells, one cell with a text and the other cell with a number. Okay, that's what it does. Now click and drag fill pointer from I5 to I6 to I19. So this is I5. We're going to copy that. You can either do this. This is fill pointer or fill handle, or you could copy and paste anyway, which is suitable for you. Okay, again we have to auto fit column I. See, if you see, it is almost touching the line. So you could select this, go to Home, and then go to Format. If you go here, you can maximize it. You can click on Home and click on Format and auto fit column width. Automatically, it auto fits the width of the column to fit all the numbers and the text. That's end of task 4. Press Control Home. Wherever you are, when you press Control and Home, it will take you to A1. From any part of the cell, it will take you to A1 once again. Okay, now we go to task 5. We're going to be using SUMIF. Okay, SUMIF is, it's going to add numbers based on a particular condition. Okay, so click the guest data worksheet. So here we have so many worksheets at the bottom. We are in rental days for now. Now we have to move to the guest data sheet. Click on the guest data worksheet here, and then click on H4. So you can type H4 here. It automatically does H4. It takes you H4 here. Okay. Now we are going to add if the group, if it is a group, for example, is it a solo or a group? G for group, S for solo. So it's going to take all the numbers which says G, and it's going to add up the number, corresponding numbers for G, and add it here. Okay, that's what we're going to do using the sum. Okay, for that we go to click on formulas, math and trig. Okay, math and trig is a division. So if you take a look at formulas, there is a math and trig here. This is what is math and trig. So we're going to select that. Okay, so go to math and trig button and select the SUMIF button. Formulas, math and trig, SUMIF. So it will go down all the way to select SUMIF. See, there are some SUMIF and SUMIFs. Make sure you select the correct formula, which is SUMIF. SUMIF, once again, it gives you the range. So we are selecting from B4 to B38. So B4 is here to B38, all the way down to B38. So that is the range by which we are calculating. Okay, that's B4 to B38. Now press F4 in order to make it an absolute reference. Okay, it will actually create a $B, $4, $B, $38. That's what it means. Okay, function. Press the function key, it automatically changes into a absolute reference. I guess you remember what was absolute reference. We did it in the last exercise. Okay, next is press the tab, go to the next criteria and type G. So here if you see, the condition is it has to be group or G. Okay, some range. What is the number range? We go back and select C4 to C38. C4 to C38. So the numbers are here and the condition is in B. Okay, so if you take a look at this, from this range, select all the G and add the numbers from C4 to C38, whatever is G. Okay, once again, you got to make this as a absolute reference. So press F4, it will automatically make the F4. Now the answer should be 76. See, there's a preview here, 76. When you click, see, okay, the rental days by groups are 76. Okay, what do you mean by that is when you take all the G, for example, 5, G5, G3. When you add all these numbers, you will get 76. That's what it means. Okay. Now, if you the next task says click H4 and copy the formula to H5. So you could just copy it and paste it here, or just will handle it here. It will give you the same answer because the condition is still G. Remember, group. So we have to change that to S. So instead of G, change it to S because we want the solo here. See, solo total days. So in order to do that, we just have to select this cell. Because we copied the cell from our formula from here to here, it still says G. But we still have to go back, double click on this and change it from G to S. So now the condition is the same, the range is the same, but the condition is it has to be solo, not G for group. Okay, let's do that. So it's 117 for solo days. Okay, good. Now press Control Home, it goes back to A1. That's the end of task 6. Sorry, task 5. Task 6 is we use the sum product. Okay, sum product to calculate costs. So now we are going to be adding up two different numbers and multiplying them by a certain cell. Okay, right. Let's go to select startup sheet. So we go to startup sheet now. Once again, there are sheets at the bottom of the worksheet. So click startup. We are here and then select cell C16. So you could either select C and then go down to 16, or you could just type C16 and it will take you directly to C. Okay, cost at required level. Okay, we're going to calculate that. In order to do that, we're going to once again select formulas, math trig, and sum product is the keyword or the formula we're going to select. So we go to formula. This is math and trig, sum product. Let's go to sum product. Sum product, and then in array 1 select cells, or you could just type it. I'm just going to type C4 colon C14. That is also acceptable. You could also type it, or you could go and select the range. Either one is acceptable. Okay, right. Next is array 2, type D4 to D14. D4 colon D14. Okay. Next is click OK. What it does is it calculates the sum product. Okay, let's click and see. It's 364. Okay. Right. What it has done is it takes the cost per and multiplies it with the required and adds it. Again, 25 times 2 plus 15.99 times 2 plus 12.45 plus times 1. So it has multiplied all of these with these corresponding numbers and added it together. That's what it has done. Okay. Now this is for the required. Now we're going to do for the best. Best is going to be the same formula, but instead it is going to be instead of D, this is going to be E. Okay. So here if you see the sum product C4 to C14, which is here, comma D4 to D14, which is here. So now for the best level, we have to calculate C4 to C14, which is the same range, but for the best, we have to do E4 to E14. I hope all of you understand. Okay, right. Let's go. So once again, we go to cell C17. Now that we have used this sum product once, you could even just equal to SUMP. It automatically brings up the sum product. You see this? It is called autocorrect. Double click on this and then you could just type the range. See, we are doing C4 to C14. So C4 colon C14. Okay, and then you do a comma, delimited, and then you put E4 colon E14. I hope all of you understand. See, now we are doing the best. So it takes the number from here, multiplies this, the number from here, multiplies, and adds all the sum. Okay, and then let's do enter. There you go. It is 694.86. The value is correct. Okay. Now we have to select these two and make it into accounting number format. I'll tell you what is why are we changing that. If you take a look at this now, if you take a look at these two numbers and take a look at the home in the number tab, it is in general form. If you see this, so we have to make it into accounting format. So click on this home, go to this and select accounting format. Okay. Now it is accounting. See, it has added the dollar value and the 2 decimal points. Okay. Right. Next is use round function. We're going to be using round function. Task number 7. Okay. Cell. We are still in the startup sheet and select C19. We are in C19. Now we are going to round this number up for cost required level. Here we're going to round this number and write it here, and round the best value and write it here. Okay. So let's do that. We are in cell C19. Use once again formulas, math and trig, and then we're going to select the formula called round. Round. Make sure you correct the round. And in the number box, you're going to select cell C16, or you could just type it. It says select cell C16 here. You could even select this cell C16 like this, or you could just type it cell 16. Number of digits, if you want single digit or 2 digits, there's already 2 digits there. So let's do 0. Okay, 0. And when you click, it automatically rounds this number up to the nearest one. And you can also copy it, copy the formula from here, Control C, and then paste it here, Control V. See, this one is here. This one is rounded off at 364 because it's below 0.5. And this one is rounded off to 695 because it's above 5 after the decimal points. Save the file from time to time. Okay, right. Now that we are Control Home takes you to A1. Save your file, submit them in the Dropbox as required. Okay, and the sheets should look something like this. If you take a look at the guest data, it looks 76 and 117. We calculated it. And then in the startup, if you see, we have rounded off, we calculated the concat, we calculated the round function, and we also did the accounting number format in this exercise. We also did sum product, we also did the concat. Good luck, everybody. That's the end of lesson. Pause and practice Excel 2-3.